Hello everybody. Welcome to January edition of Dynatrace Office Hours for Application Development. I'm Harris, and today with me is my colleague and a fellow application developer advocate, Inda Mohan. Inda, welcome and thank you for joining me. Happy to have you today. I wish you Happy New Year and all of our listeners as well.
Thank you, Harris. Glad to be here and Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful start to the year, and we already have office hour of this year, so I'm really stoked and excited.
Yeah, same like me. So for today, it's going to be our usual agenda. We're going to have our screen popped up very quickly here. We welcome everybody. Please feel free to make yourself comfortable, prepare any questions that you might have for the app development, and we're going to get right into it. And Carrie does a great job in the background. So we just started. So we're going to take a look at today's agenda. So what you can expect in this session, usually we pick out a couple of questions that are posted in the community or internally that we can answer and help the users with the solutions here. And we're going to go through them, and we're going to also see the new releases that we've had, as well as answer any of your questions. So we're looking forward to many of those. If you have any, please feel free to leave and drop us a question. We'll be happy to take that. So in the QA session, as I've said, we're going to take a look at some questions that we picked ourselves to answer and answer any of your questions. So without further ado, we can go to the question one. In that, we've had a question where the user wanted to, where the user had the column type set to text, and they wanted to add a Strato icon in a data table that allows to display a string. And they've asked, what is the best way to do that? On the right side, we can see the example of what they wanted to do. You can see the small icon branch, and they wanted to implement the same way in the custom app. So we can simply have a look to the answer. Do you want to take this, Inda? What do you think about this?
Sure, thank you. First thing I want to highlight is that this is not data table. This is data table v2, right? So most of you guys already might know how to do this with data table, but this is the second iteration of the table, and this the little bit difference of syntax. But the idea remains the same. The idea is that you can customize how the table looks like, and also you can customize number of columns that you want to show. And if you want, for instance, the data to, for instance, merge data from two different sources, all of this is possible. And you can do this by doing custom column definitions. This is one column definition. And you would see also link in the link for the documentation. So basically, the idea is that you customize the column. In this case, we have, for instance, column with the header host, and you specify accessor ID, but you can also specify how the data, how that particular cell looks like via cell property. As you can see on the screen, whatever you return basically becomes part of the UI. And in this case, you can see we are returning something, but for instance, you can use the Strato icons there to customize the way it was customized in the previous picture that Harris showed. You can add other stuff there. You can get data from external sources also and merge it with the current data that you have in the cell and stuff like that. So that you have so many possibilities here to customize the cell, basically.
Yeah, thank you. I think that sums it up great. Basically, data table v2 allows you to customize the whole cell to exactly display it however you want. I don't have anything to add to this, so we can move to the next question. And oops, there we go. So one of the users posted that they've had an issue after updating the Dynatrace app to the latest. It got updated to 132.1 version, and they couldn't debug the custom React app in Chrome or Edge. So it seems that whenever you start the application, it starts the app in the production mode, and if we revert back to 130.5, it starts correctly. in development mode, both with npm start and the dev. So what should we do to fix this? And the answer to this is that this is a bug. This is already identified as a bug, and we're working on a fix right now. At the point, you can downgrade the app toolkit to the specific version that works, in this case, the 0130.5, and you use that in the package.json. Then you can just rerun the npm install command, and then you will be running the older application toolkit version. The actual fix will be available in this month, hopefully. I'm not aware if it's already released. Do you know, Inda, if it's been released already or not?
I doubt it, because as everyone, including you and me, were enjoying the holidays, development teams are also on holidays. But we should expect end of the month the fix for that. And again, we are highlighting this issue so that if you have the same issue, you know what the fix is here.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else to add on this? Anything for the users? So just downgrade and it should work, hopefully. Yeah. All right, good. Again, if you have any similar issues to this, it could be a reason that something else might not work. So downgrading could help. And with that, we can move to the latest question that we have, our last question. Somebody asked for ability to save data for specific users in a shared space, such as Boolean flags to indicate if a user has been onboarded in a specific app. And this one is very fun. The answer lays in the state service. And basically, the state service provides you with a key value storage that the application can actually use to store the internal states. There is two versions or two ways to use it, right, Inda? The user app state and the user state. Can you tell me what is the difference between those?
Yeah, so as simple as that. Both of them are actually app states. Both of them are persisted, so that's there. The difference is that the user app state is unique to the particular user. Since when you are running your application in Dynaris platform, each app has sort of authentication information of who is logged into your app, right? Into the environment. So app can easily figure this out, who is logged in, and the state can also then differentiate, well, this data is only for this user and this data is for this user. So you can differentiate basically, right? And that's the difference here. The user app state is scoped to user and the app, and the app state is only scoped to the app. So for instance, if you want storage, and the changes to that storage would actually affect all the users, that should go to the app state. But if you imagine that you are storing a user's preference, imagine that I want to have a pagination on a table always set to 10, another user wants it only for the 20, and this information is, for instance, stored in the app state. In this case, you want to use user app state, because if you use that, what I will store will be stored only for me, and what Haris, you, would store for preference would only store for you. And that's, in a nutshell, the difference.
Does that also mean that if you have an admin user, that can change the whole app state for all of the users, right?
If I'm not wrong, it's not possible like that.
Okay.
But I think we should dig deeper into that, and then we can answer that. I have not really clue.
Okay. No, thank you. Well, I think you answered it. And thank you for answering that. Basically, it means you can customize the context of the app and save the user states, which also means that different users can have different states and access different data.
Yeah, maybe we can show quickly actually how easy to actually access the state.
Yeah, do you want to do that?
Sure, but if you're showing the screen, it will be rather easy, I guess, for you to show.
Yeah, sure, that also works. I don't know if you want me to share the code directly.
We can just show that where it is on the developer portal, right?
Yeah.
So and let's take it from there.
I hope that. Let's see if this can be seen now. Yeah.
Yes.
That is the
Looks
development.
good.
So you can simply, well, something is preventing my search bar to work here. Let's see if a refresh fixes that. Yeah, it does. So the app state, simply look for it, and here is the state service that was displayed on the page on my presentation. But you can also see right here for storing app and user states. You use the keys because you can have multiple app states and multiple user app states, right? And then those are actually the hooks from the React hooks package, and then you can actually use the set app state and execute on a specific application state right here, and we can see that it sets the weather to a specific location right here, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's since the front end is done in React, we provide hooks, and there are two hooks. One is for user app state, and one is for the app state for setting it, right? As you can see on the screen, and then you can basically use the set. We have more hooks for doing more stuff, but you just can go to this page and you can figure out more information about how to use app state and user app state.
Yeah. So this would be for setting the actual app state, and I believe that here you can see how to get the actual state by key, and above, as you can see, we have used the weather key for this app state. And then below, if you get the state, you can see that we actually used this specific weather user app state. And then if we parse the data, it's actually going to take the weather information from the actual previous user app state. So it works pretty neat. I've used it in my application that I was developing. It was quite useful to remember the choices of the user. Once they click them and once the refresh happens, they can still retain those. So they don't refresh or they don't get removed every time.
Mm-hmm. Since we're talking about the state, I also want to highlight that this is, as said, is a persistent state, right? It's not the replacement for React state management. It's, again, as said, I want to highlight that. For doing your normal React state management, you can keep using your the default React libraries that you can have, for instance, Jotai, Zustand, you can use all sort of libraries, whatever works for you. Maybe this is also a time to highlight one special page that I actually kind of really like, which is that if you go to the plan section in the developer portal,
yes,
you can see something called as Tech Radar. This is basically a page that we have. It's a pretty common thing, Tech Radar. But basically, the idea is that you can search through the technologies that you want to use, and we would tell you how we think about these technologies, how well they work with REST to the address, app technologies, SDKs, and stuff. And here, for instance, you can see if you scroll down, you would see a couple of state management libraries that are mentioned that would work well with the rest of the stuff that we have. Scroll down more, and you would see actually here, Zustand, right? You have sort of Flex-like library here. You have other stuff, but you also have Jotai, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And a couple of other stuff. You have even Redux there, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is only for the state management, but you can also see other stuff that you probably want to use, and you are thinking if it's going to be usable with the rest of the SDKs and the component library that we have. And this is your answer.
Yeah, pretty cool thing.
That's it.
Again, I will share this as well with all the viewers right there, so they can have a look at this page. And that would be it. I think we're back. I will put it back. I will put us back on the slides. So we have an answer how to use the state and how to set it. You can also check the documentation. While we wait for any questions, we will take a look at old and new releases. The new releases that we've had already released back in December is the 18th developer newsletter. You can actually check it out with the link. I will share that as well with you in the chat. That you can have a look and see all of the new releases and all of the interesting news that we've had. So news and events, useful resources, and some release highlights. We're gonna have a new release this month as well. So in February, we're gonna you'll be able to check that out.
I just also want to give a shout out to all the people who have joined, and they mentioned where they are from. I think one of is Tankos, Bartos, and Said. Glad to have you here. We also have now Massio.
Yeah, and we have a multiple locations, so we're all over the world.
Yep.
Happy to have you all here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us anything that you have. And Inda, there is a question, I believe.
Yeah. The question is about if I have attended app dev certification where we can get voucher if we want to attend that. I really don't know how to answer this question. I can get back to you, but
I believe that we have a certification team, right?
We do have, yes.
And they should be responsible for that.
Yeah, I think one thing I can do for you, since it's difficult to get in touch with each other, go to the Dynatrace community, ask this question there, and then I can take it back to the people who can answer this question and provide you answer. So hopefully this helps.
Yeah, I think that should work. Either that or also asking the contact that you have in Dynatrace. So that would be your customer success manager or the sales engineer that you have. You can also ask them, and they can also find the person that that is responsible for the vouchers.
Cool. We also have now Manjunath joining from India as well. Hi, Manjunath. Glad to have you here.
And I believe that's it for my slides. You can check out our resources such as Developer Q&A Forum. You can ask any questions there. If you have any problems or bugs, if you want to do something specific, if you want to ask about the best implementation of the solution that you need, you can always ask us there. You can check the developer docs at developer.dynatrace.com. And you can always join this monthly office hours that we have. The next one is going to be on February 11th. So next month, also on Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central European Standard Time. So you can always join us and ask any questions that you have if you want a quick answer here, or if you want to discuss anything, if you have any ideas. So yeah, Inda, anything else that you might want to add?
Not necessarily about this. While we wait, we have one question already. Haris, I think you can answer this question. Please go ahead.
I wish that I knew how exactly it works. Well, it's AI, so it's a lot of complicated things working in the background. If you actually want a detailed answer, I would advise you to go to our product related chat. So in app chat that you have and ask this. You can also find the documentation actually on the Davis AI inside. Basically, AI model as itself knows a lot about what's going on in the whole environment, and it can do multiple tasks. So Davis AI can do correlation of data. It can do problem detection, anomaly detection, baselining, and such. And it's always getting upgraded because it's a very important point and gives a lot of benefit to Dynatrace users. To specifically see how it works, I'm not sure if it's publicly available information. Definitely not even people who work in that. Not everybody knows about it, right? Since it's AI, it's very complicated. But then also, it would be kind of like a secret to discover how it works. In general, it just takes a lot of information. It has overview of all of the Dynatrace data that you have in your environment, and then it can magically correlate. It's not really magic, it's just correlation of data and knowing what data is important to which entities, such as that. So I hope that answers your questions, Manjunath. If you have very specific questions, you might be able to find much better answers in the product chat. And another question from Zaid. What types of questions are asked in the application developer certification in the practical part? And I believe, do you know, Inda?
Yeah, well, it would be wrong to actually reveal the question and type and stuff, but what I can tell you, which would actually help you, is that as long as you use Dynatrace Developer, you will be able to clear the exam. So everything that is part of the exam actually is available in Dynatrace Developer. Use the tutorial, create the app within the tutorial, play along with how to use data, things that we have mentioned, for instance, today, stuff like that. Use app functions. If you can do all of this, you will be able to pass the test.
Yeah. So basically, I think we do have the part in the developer portal, which helps you with the basic introduction and a two-step tutorial, and then we have another 5-step tutorial, which basically goes through what you just said, right? And then if I can do this without looking at the code, I should be able, with this knowledge, to get the certification, right? Yeah. So we don't really have an exact answer, but I hope this helps, Zaid. It should be fairly simple if you can tackle all of these tasks that are listed in the tutorial. And I believe that there is online resources where it's described, at least the experience of some users, even in the community.
While we wait for more questions from the community, Haris, I have a question for you. It's more on not the technical question. Usually people ask how many New Year resolution that you have this year. I have a different questions for you. How many New Year resolution that you have already broken?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I haven't even started with the New Year resolutions. I kind of just took over the last year ones and just carry them over.
Okay, interesting. That's how it works, huh?
The sprint was too short for me to complete. But yeah, definitely, I think haven't broken them yet, because you can always push them, and it's not broken, right? Well, I hope that it works like that. What about you?
I broke almost all of them. But a good thing is I broke it for one day, and then I kept the gain back. So I think I'm on the safe side.
Yeah.
I guess since we are not receiving more questions, I think it's time to wrap this up. What do you think, Haris?
Yeah. If we don't have any questions, of course, we're gonna be here same next month. By that time, you can always post questions in the portal. We're happy to answer or discuss anything. If you have any kind of fun ideas or how to develop questions, how to develop something, we're always happy to help in terms of our knowledge. Yes. So that's it from me. I hope you've had good holidays, and I hope that next time we have even more people with more questions. But thank you for joining, and thank you for all of those who joined with us and asked questions. We're always happy to have you, and I'm looking forward to the next time.
Same.